Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to V-Speed Racing Network for the Bluegrass Xfinity Series here on BSRN and Bluegrass TV. Glad to have everybody here today, I guess, for Cofield Supply and Service 212 at Talladega. They've been sponsoring the Talladega races all week long, their home track. So Cofield Supply and Service, want to thank them for their sponsorship. Well, Talladega, I don't have to tell you anything about Talladega. It is a wide open 4 to 5 lane track, one of the biggest speedways in all of motorsports, 2.66 mile Superspeedway. And we're going to have a lot of fun today as we do the replay of the Tuesday night race. So it's Friday right now where I'm at, but we're doing a replay of it. So be a little bit different than normal, but still going to be a great show. Talladega, always really fun. Well, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into the grid if it'll work like I want it to. We'll hope that we'll get through everything, but let's go ahead and look at your grid here. Yeah, it looks like the grid not quite working like I want it to, as we'll everybody's starting to pull off here. But I'll tell you what the grid is. Bobby Anderson, I think, on the front row. We'll see. Yeah, I don't think so. Well, give me a second. We'll talk a little bit about, we're in the playoffs, and man, it's going to be a really, really fun race. I think got a lot of implications for tonight. So, Talladega's no different than any other time we go to Talladega, which is it's all about drafting, working together with your teammates, and that's going to be parallel. Who can work the best? And we saw at the trucks, the McCullough group, just unbelievable in their super speedway package and the way that they run things, and it's just impressive. So we'll see if anybody can do that here tonight, because we'll try to get the timing and scoring up for you. Apologize, but replays are a little bit picky about how they do things, so try to make sure that we get it going for you. So the intro is not quite as good, but we'll see here if we get everything rolling. And it looks like we'll need a lap to get it done. But Tyler Johnson, Daniel Cunningham, Lucas Lyons, Tony Iverson, Brian Terry, Scott Fritz, Casey Ryback, Michael Kostick, Nicholas Hacia, Alex Penn, your top 10, Sean Kostritza, Jim Ott, Justin Ray, Jason Harrison, Bobby Anderson, Joey Doucette, James Silvers, Drew Prohl, Christopher Blanchard, Dustin Reinstedel, Travis Twitty, and Michael Cole round out this field of 22 cars. Well, they come through the trial right now into the Geico restart zone. Tyler Johnson going to lead us down to the green flag, and we'll take a look real quick, get the race analysis fixed, set up 80 laps here tonight. Stage break on lap 35 and no fast repair. Those playoff drivers, all the ones with those yellow banners, they're going to be really pushing to this lap 35 and to try to get those stage points. But green flag is out here. Well, lap one in the books, and you can see the cautiousness of the driver. You see there's a pack about a couple seconds back from the main pack as they're hanging back. The cautiousness of a super speedway race, especially here early. You know you're always going to be in it. As long as you don't lose the draft, you're pretty much going to be in the thing. So you see some guys just hanging out, trying to make sure that they don't put themselves into bad positions early. without that faster pair. But up front, Daniel Cunningham, Tyler Johnson leading both lanes, where you see the 24 of Tony Iverson there pushing. See some folks kind of bouncing around a little bit as everybody's kind of getting their getting everything in order. Takes some time when you get out on track in a big pack to really get the feel of it. Sometimes you're pushing somebody you're not familiar with, so it's always good to kind of get everything stretched out a little bit, get your shoulders ready. And we can already see Lucas Lyon being aggressive in the corner, pushing. He's a great pusher in that 25 car. With lap 1 in the book, we'll refresh the timing and scoring here, so it'll be a quick little flash on the screen, then we'll get right back off. And then from this point on, we are going to be 100% in it. Like I said, I'm sorry that it's not as good as normal, guys, but trying to give y'all the best that I can from start to finish with this replay. And it takes a little bit of finessing, but we got it now. Everything's working like it should. The timing and score, and it takes a lap for it to record it for me to be able to pick it up. So anyway, enough inside baseball. Tyler Johnson continues to lead. Daniel Cunningham on the outside as they come barreling down the back stretches. Man, the top line gets a really, really good push there. And now here comes Tony Iverson. 24 machine pushes the 08 out front, then he jumps back down on the bottom to lead that line, which I think the guys on top happy with. Teammates there on the top side. Daniel Cunningham, I believe that is, that's Scott Fritz, so he's not a teammate. But he's got Michael Kostick back behind him. It was all an interesting thing in the truck series where teammates would lead both lanes and then go back and forth to try to control the race, and they did such a good job at it. It just shows how important teamwork is and everybody being on the same page. I think that's the hardest part to do at a plate race, is get everybody on the same page and willing to do something as a unit. So we'll see if anybody's going to be able to do that tonight. I'm relatively new to the Bluegrass series, so I don't know everybody's team just yet, but I'm learning. And so we'll see who can kind of take control of that. And, of course, honestly, super speedway racing can be, a selfish type of race too, where, yeah, you got to work with your team and get there, but at some point you're going to have to take your own wants and needs into account and get up there and battle. If your teammates are not doing what you need them to do, or you're wanting to be a little bit more aggressive sometimes, you just have to go along with it. Lucas Lyon, a little bit of a connection issue. He's going to pull out a line just to make sure that he doesn't run into any problem. You saw he blinked out for just a few seconds. But he's going to hop out of line because it can be an issue where he blinks out, blinks back in, and then ends up in the wall. And he definitely does not want to do that. So he's going to get back in line, drop back to about the 10th position, and just let that kind of ride for a little bit. But Daniel Cunningham back out to the lead. He's got Tony Iverson pushing that 08 machine. This Tyler Johnson continues to be aggressive, wanting to lead lines. So a couple people have pulled up in front of him, and he has done everything he could do to get back up to the front. So Tyler Johnson showing that Valvoline machine what it has here early. Another thing you want to do in these races, you want to find friends, find people that you work with. A lot of times you'll get into an official race, and you'll find that one guy who you push, and you guys are in sync, and you're able to make moves and push, and not the band, but you're synchronized. And so finding that person sometimes can be good here early while you're still just trying to feel everything out. You want to find the guys you can work with, and if you can find them towards the end of the race, lock bumpers and go get a dub. So far, so good here. We'll try to give you the laps as they come, but don't get it. Won't get the lap counter, but we're on lap 8. I'll try to remember to keep y'all updated on that as we go along, as that will be something that will not show up on the screen. But you see Scott Fritz and the 6 of Tyler Johnson seem to be working really well together. And you see the pushes from the second car in line really being sort of the driving factor. But here we go. We got a third line on the top side. Who is that? The 30 of Alex Penn. Got a big run on the outside. So they're not wanting to just sit around anymore, as you got to get yourself up front if you're going to have any chance of scoring those stage points. Top 10 get stage points, and that's going to be big, big, big when it comes to this championship hunt. We'll take a look at the standings. I won't spoil anything. We'll give you the points as they run, not after the race. But Alex Penn is your points leader. So he wants to get up there, get as many stage points as he can. He's going to drop down to the bottom. But David Farmer not here tonight. But Jimmy Allen I don't think is here either. So interesting. But right now, I mean, the last person in the playoffs is Ben Speed, and he's not here either. So interesting to see. There's a lot of guys that aren't in there. Scott Fritz is down there at 14th. So he needs to be up front getting him some stage points. That's exactly what he's doing. So seems like there's a lot of guys out here tonight. So perfect opportunity for some folks to really make up some ground and get into this next round. Now, Tyler Johnson all by himself here in the middle. Nobody helping him. He's doing good, though. I think he might have some help. No, he doesn't. He's doing it all by himself. As Scott, let's see, who is that again? The 30. Alex Penn pulls out a line and says, I don't know if I like what's going on. Tyler Johnson continues to do a great job in the middle. Man, he's going to clear down onto the bottom. So, interesting. Expecting to see pit stops coming in the next 5 to 10 laps. Should be right around lap 18. We've kind of seen that all week long with the 50% fuel. So it seems like there must be some communication about that. Guys trying to get together. I mean, you can see the pack kind of just breaks apart there as Tyler Johnson just kind of loses any help. But up front, it's Drew Pearl in that 80 machine with Dustin Reinstedel behind him and Lucas Lyons as well. So the bottom line, sort of the major line. So we'll see. I mean, in the Cup race in real life, we saw that, fuel saving was sort of the biggest part of this race. And if you could save fuel, that's less time spent on pit road. And that's big when it comes to green flag pit stops. And it's so funny how things in real life translate to iRacing so many times. And that has definitely happened in the plate races that I've seen here in Bluegrass is, guys just being real smart at the beginning. You want to push for that stage, but you still have to make a green flag pit stop before you can make that stage. So, if you're, oh my goodness, Drew Prohl make a little contact, and then he goes up and hits Tyler Johnson as the 11 gave him a shove of Bobby Anderson in that Napa Auto Parts 11 machine. Got Drew Prohl out of shape and almost caused a wreck there, but able to keep it going straight. These guys are incredible drivers. So right now, you're just trying to make it to this pit stop. Now, once the pit stop's over is when everything kind of gets turned up to 11, is now you're going to be racing to that stage as we're crossing over to lap 13 right now. Right now, if you got teams, you just want to find your teammates. You want to do what you can to find each other. If you're a solo driver, you don't have a team, you just go try to figure out how you want to do things. You see the 38 of Justin Ray up top. He's out there by himself, but it's valuable information. I mean, these cars all act different in the draft. The Xfinity car, the truck. The Xfinity car just doesn't get the kind of draft up to the front car as the truck does. And honestly, the Xfinity car, just like the ARCA car, is Tyler Johnson getting kind of stuck in the middle yet again. But like this car and the ARCA car, man, we're going to be 4 wide here. Oh my goodness, I don't know if this is going to work. A little bit of contact as Justin Ray gets into the wall just a little bit, trying to avoid it. And 30 of Alex Penn probably had to pull it up a little bit of a seat cushion he's sitting in. But everybody keeps it together as Tony Iverson's got a big push. But the 28, Nicholas Hacia, pulls out. Man, my goodness, Tony Iverson really putting his playoff hopes and dreams on ice there as he comes down and blocks that run. That could have, I mean, he didn't even think about it. He just came right down, and I think the 28 may have gave him a little bit of a, oh man, the 28 gets loose down in the tri-oval. As Tyler Johnson now getting a push from Sean Kostritza on the outside. These guys are driving very, very aggressively. But like I said, it's a great time right now to really see what the car can do. What does the Xfinity car need? But it seems like the Xfinity car is fine pushing, but it seems like it's really, really good when you get to the back bumper and you just kind of sit there about, I don't know, just a few feet off the back bumper and just stay right in that zone. It's a lot better. Here comes the 24, Tony Iverson. Getting pushed, but look at Justin Ray on the outside. Massive, massive run. And oh, the 30 is going to come unhooked from the back bumper. So they're going to lose a little bit of momentum as the 38 now falls back to the 30. Going to try to get that momentum rolling again, as we are probably just a few laps away from pit stops. You see just how long that lower line is. Lap 16, we'll see when they come down. I'm going to close Discord here. Too many notifications popping up. Trying to give you all the best I can and not be looking over here at Discord at people sending me messages. We'll close that out for y'all. But we got a three-way battle for the lead up front. And, you know, you don't see too many playoff drivers. You see a couple of those yellow bumpers up top, 38 and 30. They're playoff drivers. But you see a lot of guys down up here racing that don't have those. A lot of you playoff drivers are kind of on the bottom or towards the back, so no surprise there. It's a funny thing racing, late racing, because it puts you on track with a bunch of other guys or gals who may not have the same ideas that you do. He's got the first group coming down pit road. Drew Prohl, Dustin Ronstedel. Oh man, Dustin gets a little bit hot into pit road, but I think he got down into it without any issue at all. And so now we got pit stops here rolling on lap 18, so just right on time. And you definitely want to make sure you make it to lap 18 to be able to make it to the stage. So we'll see if that brings everybody else in. Tony Iverson currently leads, as you see, the 28 of Nicholas Hacia, the 46 of Sean Kostritza on the bottom, as Justin Ray, it now has James Silvers on his back bumper pushing. How many more laps can they go? We'll see how far some of these guys stretch it and try to get as much as you can. But here they come. Justin Ray. Oh, it's like Tony Iverson. Tony Iverson, that group, come down pit road. You want to come down as early as you can. Yeah, I mean, as soon as that window opens, you want to come down pit road and make sure your pit stop does. You're not going to take tires here at Talladega. So you want your pit stops. Right now, Daniel Cunningham, Lucas Lyon, Drew Prohl, all them mid 7-second stops. Michael Kostick, an 8-second stop. So all that is a big deal when it comes to, you know, the 11, Bobby Anderson, comes down and takes 4 tires. That may have been an accident, but he is going to be well behind the rest of the field. So the least amount of time you can stay on pit road is the best. And look here. I mean, Tony Iverson, who was up there up front, takes 4 tires on that pit stop. And look, he ain't got nobody around him. So that's the danger of not having your tires picked right. That's why you take those few laps before you come down pit road. And you see everybody kind of spread out as they're checking their fuel, checking their windshield tear off. But right now, Tony Iverson by himself is going to have some help. Looks like Bobby Anderson's going to be behind him. So I don't know if Tony did that to maybe help his teammate or whatever. Not really sure if they're teammates at all, but they'll get hooked up here. But they are now 22 seconds off of the lead. So that is the danger of not having a fast pit stop. Now here comes the second group out. Scott Fritz currently with the lead, but you see that pack coming. The push of Justin Ray. Oh, excuse me, that's not Justin Ray. Can't see exactly who that is coming just yet, but you see, oh, that's Lucas Lyons, Daniel Cunningham. So Scott Fritz will blend in and will catch the back end as these guys are wide open. This is the first group that came down, so they did a great job of getting together. And that's going to give them the lead. Oh, my goodness, they get a little bit out of shape as Sean Kostritza going to go to the outside of Michael Kostick. And you always wonder why people do this. And I'm not picking on Sean, just happened to be the one that does it. He's out there driving by himself on the outside, and all he's doing is slowing down this whole pack. If you can, you know, Talladega can be a numbers game. I know we got a stage break, so this really doesn't apply. But, you know, when you don't have anything to talk about, you got to make up some stuff. But, you know, if Sean gets there together and gets in line instead of out there running, because these guys are having a lift. I mean, they're taking it, you know, they're not pushing as hard as they possibly can. So, yeah, you can get a little run, but it just seems like if you all run side by side, you cut the numbers down as we get down to the end of the stage. And you really, as Lucas Lyon goes up to maybe block that second line and just gets freight trained on the outside. But if you get in line and you push and get down towards the end of this stage, you know, it might be, you know, advantageous as these guys who are, you know, a little bit further back, you know, in this second group won't be able to catch up. So if you can drop the numbers, it gives you a better shot of winning the stage. So it's always interesting to see these guys get up here and battle after a green flag pit stop, because all it does is just bring the other drivers into the fold. So it's hard, though. That's what I was saying earlier. It's really hard to make people work together and get everybody on the same page. And everybody's got different wants and desires, and the way I feel about it may not be the right way. Maybe it's the right way to get up there and battle. But a great push here from the 80 on the 08 as Sean Kostritza has got a nice push from Nicholas Hassi on the outside. So they're kind of doing that pendulum swing back and forth, back and forth. As Sean has the lead, can't decide if he wants to come down. Now he gets Nicholas Hassi clear, and so those two will drop down to the bottom, and that will give the top side to Jim Ott, somebody we haven't talked about much yet here at the beginning of this race, but he's going to get a push from Lucas Lyons. You can hear Lucas really modulating the throttle, working on it, trying to stay as close as he possibly can, going to give a slight bump. Just have to be careful. The trucks have the bumpers line up really, really good. The Xfinity car lines up fine, but it just can be a little awkward sometimes. So I know in the ARCA car you cannot lock bumpers at all. It will just lift the back end up off the ground instead of spinning. But here we go. Big push from the top side. Jim Ott in that 4 car going to go to the front with the 25 in tow. The 4. I don't know. There's 2 4s. I think that's Christopher Blanchard. So must have some different paint schemes because we're doing this after the fact. So do remember that. This is the 71 of Christopher Blanchard. Sorry for butchering that. But, yeah, we'll see some different paint schemes. And if you don't see your paint scheme, you'll know why. I mean, I have to pull straight from Trading Paints, and the replay file doesn't save that. So some drivers may not be perfect, but we'll try to make sure we shout them out, make sure you know who's who. Lap 24 crossing lap 25, so just 10 laps to go to the stage here at lap 35. Stage points big right now as we have a pack of about 14 drivers, and Justin Justin Ray, Joey Doucette, Brian Terry, Jason Ayerson, Casey Ryback here by themselves, all in the line. So stage point's not going to happen here, but they will be able to avoid the wreck, and they know they're probably not going to go a lap down. So up front, the 6 of Tyler Johnson pushing the 4 of Jim Ott right back out front. Tyler Johnson's been up front all race long. He definitely has found his way up there multiple times, continuing that trend here. Looking out the front windshield of Daniel Cunningham, as you see the gap that he has there, there's no reason to push. The front two, of each lane can push and be aggressive, but if you're back here in these lanes, you're really just trying to log laps. I think that's the most important thing. Look at the sun. Good grief, right in your eyeballs. But, yeah, I mean, Talladega is just one of those tracks. You want to log laps. You want to see what your car can do once you feel comfortable. Then you're just trying to make it to the end. You position yourself. You don't want to be too far back, but if you feel like something's going wrong, you want to maybe move out of it. I mean, it's just a constant ebb and flow of how the race is going to go, and you got to be ready to adjust to it. At the end of the stage, we definitely won't see the big gaps that you see here, especially not at the end of this thing. So far, caution free, which has been really nice. Christopher Blanchard in that blue and white number 4, but he's a number 71 in this race. Holding on to that top spot with Sean Kostritza right behind him. Tyler Johnson, Jim Ott continues to kind of bully him on the top side. But definitely calm before the storm. Talladega is a cutoff race for this round, something that's probably worth mentioning. So this will set the next. Oh, Sean Kostritza gets a little bit loose there, but that'll set the next round of playoff. See, I think they're going down to. Try to find that for you, but yeah, it looks like the round of 12 is what we'll go to now. It shows New Hampshire was the first round, and then you got Talladega, so this should be a cutoff race. So those around the cutoff bubble. Farmer is locked in. He's not here tonight, so he gets basically a free race. He doesn't have to race at Talladega, which sometimes can be a really good thing. Lap 30 here, coming to lap 31, so just 4 laps to go in this stage. But the way things look right now, I mean, just the guys who are not here are likely the ones that are going to miss the playoffs. Those like Ben Speed, Adam Lancaster, those guys are definitely not going to move on to the next round. So we'll see. I mean, there's quite a few drivers that are pretty dang close, but we'll see. We'll see how it is. Obviously, if you guys are watching live, you know who's in and who's out, but I'm not going to spoil anything. At least pretend it's still live. Well, all right. Still waiting, sort of the calm before the storm, waiting to see who's going to have some big pushes here for the stage win to get those stage points. Got a nice little 14-car pack here after green flag pit stops. And still Jim Ott leading the top line, and Christopher Blanchard down on the bottom. All right, 3 wide. Lucas Lyon's going to go up to the outside. He's got Drew Prohl pushing him with the 11, which I think is like Dustin Reinstedel in that. It's the 2-car, but he's showing the 11. As, man, we're 4 wide up here. Tyler Johnson drops Jim Ott, and they just basically trade positions. Now Tyler Johnson goes up to the top line to block Lucas Lyons. And I don't think people are going to be too happy about that. It's tough. I mean, you want to make sure you make friends, but it doesn't look like Tyler Johnson has too many friends at the moment, as now they're going to just hang him out to dry. We've seen him get hung out to dry a couple times now. Lucas Lyon going to go down to the inside of Jim Ott, make it 3 wide. Well, here on lap 33, the stage is done at the end, the conclusion of lap 35. So it is starting to pick up. You can feel the intensity as guys are making moves. And here comes Nicholas Hasia to the outside. Going to pull back that bottom line just a little bit as Scott Fritz going to get to the back bumper. Lucas Lyons now able to get free. He's back out front, Drew Prohl. But now they're going to go 4 wide with the 30, I can't say who that is. They're 4 wide here. Oh, Daniel Cunningham gets loose down on the bottom. But we stay green. No wreck. They did a great job. They were 4 wide there. We know that's not going to work. Not here in sim racing land, as Lucas Lyons got some good help. Drew Prohl, as he's able to continue. But here comes the 33 and 30. Alex Penn, they're 4 wide again. There ain't no way they make it through this corner. Oh, they go up, make a little contact. Tyler Johnson makes contact. There it is, wreck. As they go around, we'll try to see where Lucas is. Lucas still spinning as Tyler Johnson just kind of drifts up into the side of him. We'll go back and look at that again here. We'll watch. You can just see right there. I mean, as he gets to the back bumper, he gives him a shove, but just the momentum doesn't really translate. And you're going to see right here, he's going to come up into the 25. You know, it's just you gotta stay in your lane if you're Tyler Johnson. And he's going to get into the side of him, just goes for a ride there. 33 to 30. Alex Penn, the points leader, involved in that, and that is a big wreck for those guys. I mean, they need those stage points, so Alex Penn gonna have some damage. All right, for some reason, it skipped forward to a lap. We're going to go back a little bit. Sorry about this. I don't know, for some reason I hit forward in the lap, and it all goofed it up. Oh, my goodness, somebody's spinning. Who's that spinning under in the world? Am I spinning out? Alex Ben spinning out under caution. My goodness. Man, just makes contact. I can't see who that was. I don't know if that was Tyler Johnson. See who that is that's on the bottom there. No, it's the 8 of Michael Kostick. I think Alex just not ready for that checkup, and man, makes contact with the 8. Big damage. So the 30 just having a terrible last couple laps. I'm not quite sure who was the winner. It looks like it might have been the 71 of Christopher Blanchard, so congratulations to him for being the stage winner. We'll try to get you now to the green flag here on lap 38. We'll get right back into it as the stage is over. I wanted to try to show y'all some replays, but it looks like it's going to be pretty much impossible. So if we don't see it, it's likely I'm not going to be able to give you replays without just completely, you know, borking the whole thing. Now the timing and scoring, I think, is a little bit messed up as well. So we'll have to reset everything once they cross the line. I was trying to do something to help out, show you some replays so we can see what happened in some of these wrecks. But if you're watching, sorry, not going to be able to do that going forward. So as they cross the line, we'll see if the timing and scoring gets called back up. But right now, Christopher Blanchard, and I'm going to keep calling him 2 different kind of names just so I get it right half the time. Got Scott Fritz behind him. We'll see. Yeah, timing and scoring is messed up, so we'll restart this. At least I know who's where. I'm looking down in chat and it says Lions Pride was timed out for 300 seconds. I'm not really sure why that is. I looked at the message and I don't see any problems. So that's you, Lucas. Sorry about that, brother. I don't know why that's doing that. All right, timing and scoring back rolling as the 71 also. The 4, the blue and white number 4 is actually the 71. But we're back under green. We're now on lap 40. As you see Lucas Lyon up there on the outside. They pitted on lap 35-ish when the stage was over. So they will have probably another 10 or so laps before we have to come down pit road. As we saw everybody come down right on 18, 19, or 20. So that's about as far as you can go on fuel. Four continues, or the 71 here continues to lead this bottom line as Sean Kostritza, somebody trying to find somebody that's going to race at the moment, but it's just hard to do that when everybody is sort of content on just riding here. I believe that's Michael Cole there in the 67, right behind him. You see, just not pushing right now, and there's no reason to, honestly. I mean, you've seen it so many times in real NASCAR where everybody just gets in a line and rides. It's just, you know, you're not really gaining much. I mean, if you can lead a lap, that would be fine, but what are you really gaining? You're only putting yourself more at risk. So I don't blame these guys at all for just riding here. Just see all the gaps. Tony Iverson got about a car length between him and the car in front of him. They're really, really spread out here. So just willing to log laps here on lap 43 out of 80. So just a little bit over halfway. So we got a long way to go in this race. I wish I had some of those cool things like NBC does, talk about stuff during times like these where everybody is doing exactly what I just said. It's so weird. Everybody kind of getting in single file here. You see off the back end of the leader. There ain't nobody. Currently, the only driver really out of this race, and he's not technically out, is your points leader, Alex Penn, who's been on pit road after those couple incidents. I mean, he was part of that wreck earlier, and then runs into the back of Michael Kostick. And so he's been on pit road for about 4 minutes here. And he is all but out of this thing. No fast repair here in Bluegrass. See, everybody single file here is just need to click off these laps with 50% fuel. Like I said, pit stops will be happening fairly soon. Probably another 5 to 8 laps. Playoff racing is just different, man. It changes so many things. You're thinking about points. You know, once you got up there and got the stage points you needed to work for, now you got to think about the risk and reward. Yeah, it's fun to get up there and drive 3 wide and take big runs and take the lead. That's a lot of fun. But if you're playoff racing, oh man, Alan Johnson in the 33 of James Silver, you see there slow on the inside. Is what in the world is going on? Alan Johnson just basically comes and hits the wall and comes to a complete stop. I don't know what happened there as he goes a lap down. So I think he was hoping for a caution maybe, and then decided once he went a lap down that it's over for me. So Tyler Johnson exits out. He calls it a day. But yeah, anyway, I mean, the risk reward, especially if you're in the playoffs or if you're trying to help playoff drivers, at this point, there's just no reward for being aggressive. There's no reason to get up there and battle hard and cause a wreck. And we've already seen one happen because these guys racing to the end of the stage. And that will likely be how the race at the end is. But right now, you've done all the racing and the information gathering. So now you just need to log laps. You need to pay the sponsors, get the commercials in. Maybe make a little wild move here and there to get the camera on you so your sponsor gets some TV time. But you see single file all the way back as we're just going to continue to log laps here. Log laps, save a little bit of fuel, all kinds of different things you can do at this point. And the main thing is, be talking to your teammates. They have a communication. Back when the COT was around and tandem drafting was going on for a couple years there in the early 2010s, drivers could actually talk to each other on radio. And that's kind of what we have here. Everybody on a team is in a Discord chat, and they're talking to each other, and they're deciding, okay, when do we want to go? At what point do you guys want to make moves? Watch out for this guy. You hear that a lot. Watch out for the so-and-so numbers. He's all over the place. And all that information is king whenever you're trying to win a plate race. So you're just talking about it right now, deciding, okay, when do we come down pit road? Somebody's doing the math, and somebody's going, hey, man, that's not right. Where'd you go to school? And, then you all get it fixed and decide, okay, it's best if we come down on lap so-and-so. And you get a plan. Everybody says, okay. So communication, big at these races. That's what you should be doing right now. If you're, somebody like Tony Iverson, come down pit road. You don't want to take 4 tires under green flag. You want to come down and take fuel only, even turn your windshield tear off. I think that's a myth. But people say take the windshield tear off and you'll gain a little bit of time. But I think that's just old wives' tale, I think. So Christopher Blanker continues to lead here at Talladega. Nobody pulling out making any moves. We're just clicking off laps, and that's right now on lap 48. So a couple more laps. We'll only have 30 laps to go in this race, and they will click off really quickly. You know, one good thing that you know, if your strategy is to try to save a little fuel, you know, the more that everybody's in line like this, it really helps save fuel. I mean, obviously the guy out front not able to save much fuel, but I mean, he could at this point. I mean, I've been in plate races where I've been out front and everybody needs to save gas, and you know, you just let off the throttle like everybody else, and everybody continues to do it. I mean, there was one race we was all running 10, 15 miles an hour off the pace because the fuel was close, and the leader was just like, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. And we all drove around at about 175 miles an hour trying to save some gas. You can hear Michael Kostick here lifting. He's about 60% throttle there through the trial. That's just how much they're lifting and taking it easy. Christopher Blankard, a little bit different. You can hear the engine sounds kind of give you that tip of what they're doing to save. Go through the field, just listen. Well, the big storyline, obviously, you know, tonight has been Alex Penn, who your points leader. Has just had an abysmal race so far, but he's so good in the playoffs so far that he should be fine. As looks like we got some guys coming down pit road. All right, as I turn off and start talking about something else, the leader comes down pit road with Tony Iverson right behind him. So about 5 cars here down pit road as they get their fuel only. Off pit road. That should bring everybody else. You can I see Travis Twitty there a little bit behind the 8 ball. He may be in trouble as he had about 9 seconds. So I wonder if he didn't try to take 2 tires. You can see put you behind the 8 ball if you're not careful. He's trying to get up through the gears, but he is about 1.7 seconds behind. As you can see, you don't really want to take anything but fuel, because that is going to put him in, he's going to be in trouble. But up front, Scott Fritz leads with Brian Terry right behind him. Everybody getting ready to make their final, or their next to last stop, I think. Here on lap 53. See how far these guys can make it. They should be ready to come down pit road in time. I don't think they can make it much further than this. Still not coming down pit road. Cross over into lap 54. But right before, I mean, they're right at 20 laps here. got 20 laps, 19 laps. They're looking to be able to have to make 2 stops if we don't get any cautions. They'll come down this time. That'll be right at 74 when they have to hit again. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Of course, caution to change that, but could be a very interesting race here. Almost just want to fast forward and see what happens. Right now, your top 10: Scott Fritz, Brian Terry, Sean Kostritza, Casey Ryback, Daniel Cunningham, Drew Prohl, Michael Cole, Michael Kostick, Dustin Ronstedel, Bobby Anderson, Lucas Lyons, Justin Ray, Jim Ott, and Jason Harrison is in this little pack right here. Then you go back to the guys who just pitted: Christopher Blankard, Tony Iverson, Nicholas Hacia, and Joey Doucette. Unfortunately for Travis Twitty, he is out here all alone by himself and tried to take 2 tires and it ended up biting him. He's about to go a lap down here. As you can see the pack right behind him. But they're coming down pit road. Daniel Cunningham going to stay out, but Brian Terry, Scott Fritz, Jason Harrison, or not Jason Harrison, Sean Kostritza, Michael Cole, Casey Ryback, all coming down pit road now to make their next to last stop. Now, these drivers up front have gone a long way here on fuel. I don't think they're going to be able to make it enough to be able to push it. If they can get the laps, 60, they can make it, but I just don't think they're able to save that much fuel. I think it's going to be tough to see them do that, but we're going to find out here. Nope, coming down pit road right now, so they will have to make one more pit stop here on lap 56 to make it to 80. It's going to be close. I mean, that's not as close as you can get because it looks like they ran about 21 laps. They did save quite a bit, but just not enough. They're going to have to come back down at some point and get fuel, but they give up the lead. Go back up to Christopher Blankard, Tony Iverson. These guys are coming around right now. They will likely cycle to the lead, depending on how much momentum they were able to keep. You see Scott Fritz back there. Brian Terry trying to get this thing rolling. But it looks like the Daniel Cunningham, Drew Prohl, that group, they are going to have a nice little lead here as they come off pit road. These will definitely run them down, but they're almost up to speed here off of the bottom. Look how well organized that group is right there. That's impressive by those drivers as they were able to get out front. But here they come. Look at here. Christopher Blankard. Big momentum. A difference of about 10 miles an hour there as they're going to retake the lead. But still a great job by Daniel Cunningham getting on and off of his teammates. Michael Cole there on the outside. About to go a lap down as Christopher goes down to the bottom with Tony Iverson to avoid him. And oh man, some close calls there as it looks like 16 of Joey Doucette almost gets left out to dry by his team there. They come up, pick him back up. So we're gonna have 2 defined lines here with just a few laps to go. I'm just so interested to know if these, I mean, obviously Christopher Blankard, Tony Iverson, they can't make it. But what about these guys who just came down pit road? They stretched it another 5 laps. Is that going to give them enough to be able to make it? Can they save enough? How much are they, I don't see them saving. Daniel Cunningham wide open leading this pack. I would imagine they're going to have to make one more pit stop, but when do you do it? I mean, obviously, you got to wait as long as possible. You don't want to come down pit road. You don't want to come down pit road earlier because you got to put more fuel. As oh my gosh, the 33. What in the world? And the 33 of James Silvers. Well, I mean, that's a ridiculous move to be. I mean, your car is damaged. To sit there in the bottom groove like that and not get out of the way. You know, like I said, I don't like to be too aggressive about, you know, calling people out, but that was just wild. I think if you got damaged and that far off the pace, you got to get off the track. Maybe he just didn't realize they were coming. Who knows? But man, very scary moment as that really breaks up this pack there. 20 laps to go as we cross over into lap 60. Little breakaway here as Daniel Cunningham going to try to get caught back up to this main group. As he gets right up to that main group, he starts to back off, willing to just sit there and save fuel if he can. But we're right back into our same thing, just click off laps. Really hard to gauge anything. The last, last 30 or 40 laps has been really hard to gauge really who's good, who's got the speed, as everybody's really just been taking it easy. I don't really know who my favorite is right now. I mean, the leader at this point, now, no offense to Christopher Blankard, but it doesn't really tell me much because everybody's not willing to really race that much. So I'm interested to see how the fuel strategy is going to work out. I still think everybody's got to make one more stop. I don't think it's possible that we see somebody stretching all the way to the end, because Daniel Cunningham and that group's not saving enough to really think they can make it. Here we go. Here is the final stop for these drivers. They feel like this is the time we need to come down pit road and go ahead and take fuel if they can. The best thing to do is to try to get the fuel, get out, and try to get in front of this pack as they come around. They will be full speed, so it's incredibly important that everybody gets in their box quickly, gets the amount of fuel that you need, no more, and get back on the track as soon as possible, because the leaders are coming around pretty quickly. You just don't want to go a lap down with this strategy. They're coming through 3 and 4, only about 5 seconds to get enough fuel to make it to the end. I think that's a really, really great job of everybody getting on and off. Can they stay out front? That's going to be the most important part. And they don't want to go a lap down, though, as here comes Christopher Blankard down pit road as well. So everybody making their final stops. Ooh, speeding here would be just disastrous. You see Michael Cole already, who went a few laps down a lap down because of speed, and so you don't want to do that at all. But these drivers back on the track, getting hooked up, pushing. You see Drew Prohl kind of the meat in the sandwich there is Lucas Lyon really putting the pressure on them, trying to get as much speed as they can quickly and try to tow along Michael Kosick in that second group. And they want to run single file, run as hard as they possibly can, and see where they end up as they come off the pit road. You see the other drivers down on the apron. So tough to watch these guys just drive right by you. You want to carry as much speed as you can so you can tag along. But you can see Christopher trying to get back on the track. But man, look at the momentum that front little group has. Right now, Jim Ott is your leader, but he's on pit road. He's getting 4 tires of fuel. Here comes Jason Harrison, who is in the second position. Coming down pit road is Daniel Cunningham, and that group's going to go around him. Now, the big thing for these drivers is, man, if you can stay and push as hard as you possibly can, you want to make sure that you keep that second group. I mean, that second group's full of great drivers. Christopher Blanchard, who's been up front, Scott Fritz, Tony Iverson, Joey Doucette, those 4 are trying to run these guys down. And if you are in that front group, you want to do whatever you can to try to keep them away. They're about 1.3 seconds. But you can see that front group just not tight enough. I think these 4 or 5, they're really not that tight either. But looks like Scott Fritz is just doing an incredible job. And at this point, at 1 second, they definitely have a sniff of that draft. So but it looks like it's going to be about an 11 car little pack if we finish like this on lap 67. So just 13 laps to go here in this race. Daniel Cunningham leads. Drew Prohl in second. Lucas Lyon in third. Michael Kosick in fourth. Dustin Reinstedel in fifth. That JC Motorsports group has done everything right up to this point. Now you got to finish if you want to maximize the points that you're going to get today. As here they come off the corner. It looks like Lucas Lyon, I don't know if he got a little bit loose, but he might just, not really sure what happened there, but he decided he was going to jump out of line as the Christopher Blanchard Scott Fritz tandem has caught this pack and now is trying to use that momentum to get up to the front. On board with Scott Fritz here as he's laying to that bumper, that 4. They got a lap car up here. That's Jason Harrison. Scott Fritz, the 4, going to have a big run down the back straightaway. You see, really putting the bump into that 4 machine. He's going to shove him out as they go down to 3 and 4 with the lead. And the 4 going to drop right off Scott Fritz's bumper as they are going around the 14. I guess that was the 14. I don't know. It might be the 44. Yeah, it's the 44. Jason Harrison goes a lap down. He will be in the lucky dog spot, so if a caution comes out, he'll be okay. Michael Cole, who was in the lucky dog spot, he is quite a ways back, just running by himself, just excruciating. Hoping and praying for a caution. But up front, we're getting down to about 10 laps to go here in this race. So business picking up. Christopher Blanchard has been able to take over that lead down on the bottom lane, getting pushed by Daniel Cunningham as Scott Fritz trying to make a top line happen with Sean Kostritza and Tony Iverson, just being a little bit patient, but it is seeming to be working. Just 3 cars up there just shows how the bottom line is just not that interested. Travis Twitty going to go a lap down after taking those 2 tires earlier, put it behind the 8 ball, then running by himself. just shows the importance, man, of being on the same page, and every second you can save on pit road makes a difference. Pitting under green here, and a lot of times it's tough because if you run plate races on iRacing, you normally don't have a whole lot of opportunity to practice that type of stuff. So it makes sense that some guys not quite sure what the right call is in these moments. Usually there's a caution every 5 to 10 laps for you to come down and get 4 tires and fuel. Don't have to worry about it. Here we go. Lap 71 of 80 down to the end. Scott Fritz now leads that top line. It is sort of organized. Got a couple lap cars in there that helps. Travis Tweedy there tagging onto the back end, but it's been a strong group, that top line. So I'm on the bottom. Got to be feeling a little bit nervous right here as we get down towards the end. Now, of course, we do have 3 green-white checkers. So, if we get down to the end and have a wreck, there's plenty of opportunity for A, Travis Tweedy, Jason Ayers, and Michael Cole to get back on the lead lap. And B, opportunities to find your way into victory lane. 33 to James Silvers. This time stays down on the apron and out of the way. Sure, after the last time, somebody came over the mic and said, "Hey, can you stay down low for us?" But we're watching as the 4 down on the bottom is Christopher Blankard. I know I'm butchering it, but I'm so nervous saying it. I don't know which is the right way. But Blankard, we'll just say it for that, and I'm sure somebody correct me. But he has been leading that bottom line after Scott Fritz pushed him out to the lead. Drops down in front of Daniel Cunningham. But if you're towards the back of this, if you're in the back of this pack, you got to be thinking in the next couple laps, I got to start making some moves, try to get that third line going. Now, the good news is there's just so few cars in this pack, only 11 cars in this front pack here that are on the lead lap. There are a couple lap cars sprinkled in, so about 13 up here, and it does make it easier for you to go out and get maybe a car or two and make a third line work, as you just don't have enough numbers in either lane for it to really matter. So I think there's plenty of opportunity. You want to position yourself as soon as possible, especially if you're going to be down to the end. And if you have a green-white checker, if you're up front, if you're Daniel Cunningham, Scott Fritz, Christopher Blankard up front, then a green-white checker is good for you. But if you're back, in the 8th position like Dustin Reinstedt, a green-white checker could be disastrous. You're just not able to generate a run to get back up front. So lots of things to be thinking about here, positioning yourself. But if you can be out front, that's where I want to be, and that's where Scott Fritz is now. It's across the line, getting that lap. That's that number 4. Usually the number 4 is Jim Ott, and Jim Ott is the number 4, but just because Trading Paints, it's like Christopher Blankard has a different scheme for another league, so that's what Trading Paints gave me. So just remember, that's Christopher Blankard, the 71. Well, Talladega always delivers. I love Superspeedway racing for so many different reasons, but just because it, just based on how the drivers want to race it, it can have so many different outcomes. You just never know. It could be a fuel mileage race. It could be a wild 3-wide, 10 rows deep type of race. It could be a single file race. It could be a tandem race. It could be, a long green flag run. It could be caution after caution. There's so many ways these can play out. So it's the unpredictability of plate racing that makes it so exciting. We've seen a good mix of all of it. A lot of green flag pit stops. Very few mistakes out of some folks. We had Michael Cole speed on pit road. A couple drivers making minor mistakes, just like maybe taking 2 tires or taking 4 tires. Tony Iverson took 4 tires on the first green flag stop, and he's recovered just nicely. He's out there by himself, basically asking, begging somebody, "Hey, come up here, let's go." Nobody willing to pull the trigger just yet, as we're here on lap 76 for just 4 laps to go in this race. And I think there will be and I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but I'm gonna guess there's gonna be a green, white, checkered, at least one. As you can see, the pushes getting a little bit, everybody getting a little bit tighter here. You don't see that big separation that we saw earlier. So you can see a lot of guys making some moves, trying to find some help. Tony Iverson's still out there on the top side by himself, looking for anybody who wants to go to the front. But nobody takes. Here we go. That blue car looks like he's ready to go. Getting pushed by Lucas Lyons. That's Bobby Anderson there. He's going to get a nice shove from Lucas Lyons. And here we go. Racing starting to pick up. Man, side by side here on lap 77. 80 laps. You got some lap cars on the track. Get them out of the way. Get out of here, lap cars. Get out of here. Michael Cole, he does exactly that. What a guy. Gets down as their leaders are 3 wide here. You definitely don't want to be trying to navigate lap traffic at this point, but there's still a couple more cars up there in front. But right now, Scott Fritz holding on to that lead as they come off of the corner. There's James Silvers again with the modified. Who is going to win this race? It is now time to pick up the pace. You see those pushes, 3 lanes going. Scott Fritz thinking about going down the bottom. He does. So he's going to bail on Sean Kostritza. Sean's going to have to hope that Tony Iverson can push his heart out here on lap 78. Up on the top side, Bobby Anderson with Lucas Lyon and Dustin Ronstedel in that quote-unquote 11, but also the 2. Bobby Anderson comes down to block the middle lane. That's going to open the door for Lucas Lyon on the outside, but there's a lap car in the way. Lap car in the middle of the track, the 13. Brian Terry just completely botches the race. I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, you know, I just don't understand it. I do not understand that mentality that I'm just going to be up there, see the leaders are 3 wide, and I'm just going to get into the way. You know, I don't know if that's a teamwork thing, trying to block for a teammate. I'm not sure, but that's just outrageous. So I have no problems calling it a spade, and that's ridiculous right there. It's ruined a really good race, and it broke up multiple lines because of that. Everybody nervous. So here, lap 79 though, this is what you got to deal with sometimes. Guys making bonehead decisions, but here we go. Tony Iverson's got the run. He's got the help from behind on that 3rd line, but here comes Scott Fritz down on the bottom. He's got a big run. Got some help there from Christopher Blankard, Joey Doucette. You can see everybody kind of weaving all over the place. And, man, I don't know. Sean Kostritza looking down to the inside. He may be trying to make a move here 4 wide. Will they make it around? This should be the final lap here. White flag is out here at Talladega. We will not see a green, white checkered as we're going to go all the way to the end. Turns 1 and 2. Christopher Blankard with Joey Doucette out front right now. But where's the run going to come from? The 24 backs up to the 08 up here on the top side. They should have a good run. Bobby Anderson blocks the run. Tony Iverson tries to go down. Now they're 4 wide. Contact is made. Wrecking behind them. We stay with the lead. Who has got what it takes to run these guys down? Bobby Anderson trying to get some help. Gets a big push. We're going to see a big push for the finish. Don't forget, we got to get all the way around to the start-finish line on the other side of the tri-oval. Big push from Bobby Anderson as Daniel Cunningham going to stay right there on his bumper. And nothing that Christopher Blankard could do at the last second. Here comes Daniel Cunningham at the line. But it is Bobby Anderson who will take the win here in the Bluegrass Xfinity Series for the Cofield Supply and Service 212. I don't remember if I showed that, but I want to do that now as Bobby Anderson in that 11 machine will take the win in that Chevy Camaro with the last lap push to the win. Well, let's go back to that last lap and let's watch that again as Daniel Cunningham, big push. We'll actually watch the last couple laps. This is 2 laps to go, so we'll stay right here on Daniel Cunningham as we can kind of watch how everything plays out. You're going to see the wreck happen or right around in here. Or no, it happens on the last lap, excuse me. Daniel Cunningham goes up to the outside. I mean, you've got to be in position. Tony Iverson has shown that he has the speed to get up there and win a race. So he goes up to the high side, starts to push Tony. At this point, you don't care who you're pushing. It is just push city as Sean Kostritza leaves Bobby Anderson. We're right there. Bobby is almost out of this thing. See, he's there in the middle, and people are trying to go around him. He's able to kind of stop that. Sean Kostritza goes down to the inside, and you see a white flag is out. Daniel Cunningham pushing Iverson as hard as he can, but here comes Bobby Anderson with a great run through the middle. I guess folks are having to check up, and Bobby can see that he has no help, so he jumps up in front of Tony. Tony says, no, I want to go. They make a little bit of contact. And you see the wreck happening there behind them. Multiple drivers making contact there. Daniel Cunningham going to give the big push right here, and Joey just not able to get to the back bumper. You see them separated there. Christopher Blanchard tried to come up and stop that run, but now it was just all to the start-finish line. Daniel Cunningham tries to make a move at the last second, just not quite able to do it. And Bobby Anderson, your winner here tonight. Go look at try to find out what happened in this wreck. It took out some drivers towards the end there. Scott Fritz looked like he was involved with that as well. And here he is. He's the third on the bottom. We'll try to see. We can see exactly what happened. Here it is. I mean, it's just going to get squeezed here as Tony Iverson comes down. And the Drew Prohl there in the middle of Scott Fritz and Anderson is going to turn them right into each other. And then they're going to come back down the track, hit Dustin Reinstedt on Sean Kostritza. I bet Sean wishes he would stay in that middle lane as, my goodness, big wreck there on the backstretch. And they're still wrecking. Scott Fritz still gets turned yet again as he's trying to save the car. Guys are just staying wide open as it is the last lap as guys come back up the racetrack. And big wreck there. Go on board with the 44. I think he had a really interesting look here at this wreck. There it all starts happening. They come back down the track. Watch it. Jason Harrison, look at him right here through the middle. Comes back up on the track. He was a lap down, but still a great job avoiding it. Well, all right. Well, that is it. No interviews, obviously. But we'll take a look at the results. Bobby Anderson, Daniel Cunningham, Lucas Lyons, Christopher Blanchard, Joey Doucette, your top five. Great finishes for those drivers, especially if you're in the playoffs. Drew Prohl in 6, Michael Kostick in 7, Dustin Reinstedt in 8. 9th is going to be Jim Ott. 10th is Justin Ray. 11th, Casey Ryback. 12th is Nicholas Hasia. 13th, Sean Kostritza. 14th, Scott Fritz. 15th, Tony Iverson. 16th, Jason Harrison. I don't even know if this is even correct, but we're just going to say it anyway. Brian Terry in the 17th position. Travis Twitty in 18th. Michael Cole in 19th. James Silvers in 20th. Alex Penn in 21st. And Tyler Johnson is the only one that pulled the trigger and said, I'm out of here. Well, all right. Well, thank you to Cofield Supply and Service for the Cofield Supply and Service 212 here at Talladega and the Bluegrass Iracing League. That was a good race. Great, exciting finish. This is what we run all those laps just to see those last couple laps, which are always just action-packed and full of excitement, and no different here. I want to thank everybody for all the work they do over at Bluegrass. I want to thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this replay. I know it's not as good as the live, but hey, it's better than nothing, I would say, and I definitely appreciate y'all letting me do it. And yeah, we'll see. Take a look actually at the points. We do have do have the ability to kind of tell you what the points are now after Talladega. And Alex Penn going to hang on to that lead. He's got so many extra points. He's able to hold on to that lead. But so your cars that are out, Ben Speed, Adam Lancaster, the two drivers that weren't here tonight, or today, or Tuesday night. So they are out. Michael Cole, unfortunately, who comes home in 19th, he's going to not have enough points to go to the next round. Just a couple points out. Just frustrating to see. Brian Terry also finished in 17th in this race. He is going to be out of the playoffs. So Nicholas Hasia able to trying to see where he finished. He's about 12th, so he was able to make it in. So Nicholas Hasia able to sneak in and get that 12th spot. Jason Arison as well, even though he was a lap down Scott Fritz. So your final 12 are going to be Alex Penn, David Farmer, Jim Ott, Jimmy Allen, Michael Kostick, Justin Ray, Daniel Cunningham, Tony Iverson, Lucas Lyon, Scott Fritz, Jason Arison, and Nicholas Hasia. So congratulations to those drivers. Very rarely do I get to announce the next round in the outro. But all right, guys. Well, thank y'all so much. If you don't mind, subscribe, and to VSRN. If you're not, we're very, very close, just about 30 subscriptions away from 500. So if you don't mind, head over there, hit that subscribe button, and that way you can see all Bluegrass races and maybe some other ones that you might be interested in. All right, guys, y'all have a good night. See you later.